Most people believe health exams are always a good idea. But what if I told you that after a certain age, some of them could actually put your life at risk? It sounds strange, I know, but the truth is, not all screenings and tests are harmless. In fact, some of the most common exams offered to older adults can lead to false alarms, unnecessary stress, and dangerous procedures. This isn't alarmism. It's something more and more doctors are beginning to acknowledge, especially when treating patients over 70. The medical world is waking up to a new reality. Standardized tests can do more harm than good as we age. In this video, we're taking an honest, in-depth look at 3 specific health exams that seniors should avoid. Tests even experienced doctors often decline for themselves. We'll explore why these exams are so commonly recommended, the hidden dangers they bring, and the best alternatives that keep you informed without putting your life at risk. You deserve medical care that respects your age, your body, and your quality of life. If you're someone who cares deeply about your health, but also wants to avoid overtreatment, overmedication, or being overwhelmed by today's healthcare system, this video is for you. We're not here to scare you. We're here to empower you with knowledge, confidence, and a clearer vision of what truly supports your health after age 70. Let's begin. Number 1. The colonoscopy trap. For a long time, colonoscopy has been considered the gold standard in colon cancer prevention. But after age 70, especially for people with no symptoms or family history, it can quietly become more harmful than helpful. What once was life-saving screening at 50 or 60 can, at a certain point, become a source of unnecessary risk, stress, and even hospitalization. Why? Because the procedure itself is no simple thing. It involves full bowel prep, sedation, and inserting an endoscope deep into the intestines. That's already taxing for younger adults, but for older people, the risks rise significantly. The intestinal cleansing alone can cause severe dehydration and electrolyte imbalances, both dangerous in seniors. And the sedatives used during the exam can linger longer in an aging body, leading to confusion, dizziness, and increased fall risk. But there's something even more concerning. Many seniors, especially those over 75, undergo follow-up surgeries or treatments after colonoscopies detect small polyps that might never have caused any issues. These slow-growing growths often take 10 to 15 years to turn serious. For someone in their 70s or 80s, that time may not even matter. Yet the discovery triggers fear, starting a chain of procedures, biopsies, repeated colonoscopies, even partial bowel removal, all in the name of prevention. But when the risks of these interventions outweigh the benefits, prevention becomes harm. Here's an example I'll never forget. My friend George, an active and sharp 82-year-old, was persuaded into a routine colonoscopy despite having no digestive issues. During the prep, he became severely dehydrated. After the procedure, he was groggy. He fell at home that night and broke his hip. That one exam led to months of rehab, medical bills, and stress. And guess what? The colonoscopy found nothing. This isn't about blaming doctors. They're doing what they were trained to do. But medicine is evolving, and we need to evolve with it. If you're over 70 and symptom-free, it's perfectly reasonable to say no to colonoscopy. Now, there are non-invasive stool tests that are safer, easier, and effective for many. It's about assessing the real physical, emotional, and financial cost of subjecting your body to something that may not help. We need to stop assuming more tests always mean better care, because after 70, better care often means fewer interventions and more thoughtful choices. You're not neglecting your health by being cautious. You're honoring it. Number 2, the annual full-body scan. Mistake. There's something seductive about the idea of a full-body scan, having a machine examine you head to toe, finding problems before they appear. Sounds like smart prevention, right? But for people over 70, this approach can be more curse than blessing. Though the intent behind full-body CT and MRI scans seems proactive, the results often trigger a domino effect of fear, invasive exams, even unnecessary surgeries that may shorten your life rather than extend it. Let's be clear, CTs and MRIs aren't designed as routine screening tools. They're powerful technologies built to detect everything, and I mean everything, including harmless anomalies that would never impact your health or longevity. These so-called incidental findings can become ticking time bombs in your mind. A tiny nodule here, a shadow there, and suddenly you're on a carousel of appointments, biopsies, and specialists chasing things that may never matter. Why is this worse after 70? Because an older body doesn't bounce back like before. A biopsy that was simple at 45 can now lead to a collapsed lung, infection, or weeks of recovery. Even lying still for an MRI can be physically taxing or painful for aging joints. And the emotional toll is rarely discussed. Seniors often carry the weight of worrying about what could be instead of enjoying the health they actually have. Take Bet, a vibrant 78-year-old who walked daily and had no complaints. At a health fair, a mobile clinic offered a discounted full-body scan. They found a tiny lesion on her kidney, so small it likely posed no threat. But just the word lesion triggered panic. Within a month, she was in surgery. The result: months of recovery, diminished energy, and lasting complications that never fully resolved. All for something that would have likely stayed silent forever. Medically, it's called overdiagnosis. Emotionally, it's unnecessary fear. Financially, it's exhausting. Full-body scans are rarely covered by insurance. Unless there's a clear reason, many seniors pay out of pocket, believing they're buying peace of mind. But they're actually buying admission to a system that might never stop testing. Responsibility at this stage of life means trusting your body a bit more. It means listening to how you feel, not just what machines report. And recognizing that not every shadow in an image deserves your energy or fear. If you're still watching this video and finding value in this information, comment number 2 below so I know you're with us. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend hitting subscribe and turning on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. Your support helps us keep creating quality content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move on. Number 3, the overuse of cardiac stress tests. For decades, treadmill stress tests were considered the gold standard for detecting heart disease, especially in older adults. The logic is simple: put the heart under stress and watch how it reacts. But after 70, that logic can backfire in ways many seniors only realize too late. What once was a useful tool at 50 or the early 60s can become questionable and even dangerous as you age. Why? Because stress tests in older adults often result in what doctors call false positives, results that suggest a heart problem when the heart is actually fine. These misleading outcomes occur because as we age, our bodies naturally change. Arteries stiffen, blood pressure varies more, and the heart's electrical patterns shift. That doesn't necessarily indicate disease, but the stress test can't tell the difference. It just flags an abnormality, and that can trigger an avalanche of fear and follow-up tests. Angiograms, catheterizations, and even bypass surgeries, all risk-laden procedures. For seniors, these risks aren't minor. There's bleeding, kidney injury from the contrast dye, dangerous drops in blood pressure. These surgeries are harder to withstand, and complications multiply. What begins as a simple treadmill exam can land you in a hospital bed, weighing what happened. Let me tell you about George, no relation, an active 74-year-old retired bus driver. He had no chest pain, no shortness of breath, no fatigue. He just did a routine physical, and his doctor, out of caution, ordered a stress test. The result was borderline, and he was referred to a cardiologist. 3 weeks later, he underwent an angioplasty for a blockage that never caused any symptoms. A month after the procedure, George developed a severe catheter site infection, ended up in the ICU, and spent the next 6 months cycling in and out of rehab. His quality of life never returned to normal. Now ask yourself, Was that stress test worth it? The truth is, many leading cardiologists and geriatric associations now recommend against routine stress testing in asymptomatic seniors. They align on this: if you have no symptoms, no chest pain, no shortness of breath, no unexplained fatigue, there's often no benefit, but a significant risk, especially when your goal isn't to live forever, but to live well. Psychologically, there's something powerful about checking your heart. The heart feels like the center of who we are, the compass of life. Naturally, we want to ensure it's healthy, but that's where wisdom enters. Aging healthfully isn't about chasing every possible problem. It's about listening to your body, maintaining independence, and avoiding medical interventions that might cost more than they give. This isn't to say ignore your heart. It's the opposite. Rather than rushing to that treadmill, focus on the essentials: daily walks, a balanced diet, social connections, stress control. Those are what really sustain your heart after 70, not machines, wires, or tests meant for people half your age. What we need most in this phase of life is discernment, the courage to say no just because something is available, wisdom to understand that not every test is a gift, and sometimes refusing one is the most life-affirming decision you can make. Aging doesn't mean becoming powerless. In fact, this phase is precisely when we've gained the wisdom to question the system, slow down, and ask, is this really for me? In a world glorifying more tests, more screenings, more medications, sometimes the bravest choice is doing less. Not out of negligence, but from deep understanding, knowing your body, your values, and your goals in this stage of life. Healthcare at 70 and beyond shouldn't be a conveyor belt of automatic tests and impersonal routines. It should be a conversation about what truly matters to you, how you want to live, and what risks you're truly willing to take. Blindly following protocols designed for younger bodies can drain your energy, rob your peace of mind, even cut years from your life. Not because doctors want harm, but because they're trained in a system often chasing disease rather than honoring health. If this video made you rethink, offered a new perspective on your health, then it's done its job. And remember, saying no to certain tests isn't ignoring your health. It's being intentional. It's weighing benefits against burdens. It's recognizing that not every exam leads to clarity. Some lead straight into the maze of overdiagnosis, anxiety, and unnecessary treatment. So take control. Talk openly with your doctor. Ask if the exam will likely change anything, or just generate paperwork. Think about your time, energy, and well-being, because at this age, those things are precious. You've earned the right to live on your terms, not with fear, but with awareness, not overloaded with procedures, but empowered by knowledge, and not constantly preparing for illness, but actively creating a life full of meaning, joy, and connection. Thank you for being with us today. We'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to apply it in your life. Your ideas matter to us, so don't hesitate to share. Reading your comments gives us huge motivation and encouragement. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share it. Your support helps us keep making quality content to inform and inspire you. Thank you for watching, and we hope to see you in the next video.